What's up, everybody, and welcome to the special Friday live episode of Strong Style here on the Outlaw Nation channel. For now, I am the Outlaw John Rocha, joined by these two wonderful gentlemen, Aaron Turner there in Orlando. And I love the background, bro. How are you doing?
Doing good. My office is a complete mess, so I'm not showing it to the world right now. We're under construction here, so that's why it is how it is.
Are you just never satisfied because you're always moving shit in?
I am never satisfied. Yeah, right. But we had an unfortunate shelf collapse in here, so things are amiss right now.
One too many Mandy figures, and it finally broke. I would imagine that's the reason. Chris Burns joining us again back in LA. Chris, how you feeling? How you doing? I mean, you're about to take off and go to All Out. You're about to take off and hang out this weekend and see a lot of wrestling. How are you doing? Are you excited?
I'm excited. I'm excited to hit the Rust Belt, go to Chicago for a while, see some fucking AEW wrestling. Almost went to Cardiff. Not really. But a lot going on. I'm hearing a lot of stuff. I'm excited to talk today.
Really? Hearing a lot of stuff. Oh, that's good. I like that. All right, we're going to get into so many things going on today. You guys, the reason we're doing the Friday show was scheduling issues, but also worked out because we've got a pay-per-view tomorrow night, or what do they call it? Premier events, I guess they call it there.
Sure.
With
Clash
of the Castle. We got AEW All Out. We got NXT Worlds Collide. Also, we got some news going on out of Raw, out of SmackDown, out of Dynamite. We've got some Velveteen Dream update stuff, which isn't so great. So we got a lot to go over here today. But always remember, the Streamlabs and SuperChats are open. So the stuff that you guys want to talk about, send in your Streamlabs and SuperChats now. I will be checking it periodically throughout the show and bringing them up for us to answer as well. You see the address right above Aaron's head. I'm going to pin it in the chat in just a second as we go along. But send them in throughout the show. Let's have a fun Friday show, and let's have some good support here today. All right, Aaron, where shall we start first, brother?
I got to start with Chris because you're wearing a Macho Man shirt.
Ew.
I'm wearing a Macho Man shirt. Well, Chris, where's your Macho Man shirt?
I mean, relax, okay? I'm always repping the brand constantly. I don't know. The Macho Man shirt I got back there is too small.
Bullet Club ticket. Yeah, I could see that happening. I could see him with the Bullet
Club. But you know what? Talk amongst yourselves.
For the sake of continuity, I feel like we need it. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. Let's talk about while he's doing that. Some follow-up from last week, John. Of course, you weren't here, unfortunately. But Chris and I talked about we thought that after, some thinking and mulling it over for a year, that if Patrick Clark, a.k.a. the Velveteen Dream, was able to come back to WWE, and if he went out on a big public forum and explained what happened, then I think he would welcome him back with open arms. And now that has all changed. As reported this week by TMZ Sports, the Velveteen Dream has been arrested, or Patrick Clark, as it will, has been arrested 2 times in Florida this month. He was initially arrested on August 20th by the Orlando Police Department and booked on misdemeanor charges of battery and trespass on property after warning. It's unclear what he's been accused of. TMZ said they're working on it. No updates as far as that goes. Just 6 days later, on August 26th, he was arrested again. According to records, it looks like he was booked on an out-of-county warrant for a violation of probation due to a previous drug case. Don't mind my dog crying. He just wants you to play with him. So that has been Patrick Clark's week after we talked so good about the Velveteen Dream and wanted him to come back. And now he goes and does this to us. Like I said last week, I reserve the right to be terribly wrong. And it looks like I am terribly wrong about this situation. We're setting the clock back. What do you guys think?
I mean, this is unfortunate because I was, Aaron, we first started doing the show years ago and also doing it at Collider. I remember, I talked about how much I love Velveteen Dream, how much I want, even with Satin, I would say how much I think this kid is the future of WWE. And there aren't that many black wrestlers who get a shot in the WWE to really be like the possibility to be the face of the WWE. And I thought with Velveteen Dream, with the programs he had worked in NXT, that he was being set up. Young guy, learned, he'd been in Tough Enough or whatever it was, and kind of, took the lessons, didn't win it, but took the lessons, shaped himself, a guy who was open about his vulnerabilities, about his mental health stuff. So I was like, okay, great. He's going to be a good symbol for people. And he was entertaining, off the charts, great matches, everything like that. And then the these allegations came out, these accusations came out, and so boom, they let him go, and now he was on his way back, and now to hear him being arrested twice, it's so unfortunate and sad. Of course, the victims of whatever he's doing deserve all the sympathy in the world for sure, but also, you know, there's a little bit of tragedy here because this is a guy who had all the potential to be so successful. And I feel like because he's got demons, because he's got issues, because of his mental health stuff, like mistakes like this start to pile on. And if you don't address the core reason, the foundational reason why this shit is happening, this will just keep repeating itself. And I'm so scared that, you know, 5 years from now, we're going to hear about him taking his own life. And I don't want to see that. There's potential. There's a world outside of wrestling. There's other things you can do. So first and foremost, I hope he gets the help he needs. Second of all, I'm just in a sad place about it because I don't want him to be one of these guys that becomes a victim of his success and a victim of being a part of the world of pro wrestling. What do you think, Chris?
Well, two things to address right off the top. Never challenge me on getting a wrestling shirt at any given time, okay? First of all, if you're going to go macho, you got to go NWO macho.
Oh, be a man, Hogan.
And it's sort of ironic because we're talking about Velveteen Dream getting locked up. And here we go with the bars. I mean, yo, man. I mean, that was sometimes the universe has excellent comedic timing. And we had just tried to give this young man the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
And it was promptly taken away from us. And you know what? It's one of those things where you're right, John. It's definitely tragic.
Yeah.
You wonder how much of it is sort of like a hideous cycle that began probably with his release from WWE.
Yeah.
Where it's like he's just spiraled ever since. And would any of this be happening if he would have been able to keep his job, you know, during that time?
Right.
I don't know. But at the same time, you know, you when you have struggles of that nature, it is your responsibility to address them, to get help. I know that it's difficult, but when your behavior starts to become a pattern of self-destruction as well as to other people, you got to step in. You got to address it. You got to do something. So, you know, he has my empathy. He has my, you know, my best wishes that he does get the help that clearly he needs at this point.
Sure.
But no, you can't bring him anywhere near a hectic lifestyle of pro wrestling, you know, with this current state of affairs. No way. It would be disastrous. Look at, we don't want another Benoit. We don't not want another season of Dark Side of the Ring. You know what I mean? And just all these guys and just have problems compound on top of problems. Find that inner peace, that inner happiness. And then maybe down the road, there's a redemption story here, but now is not the time.
Yeah, Aaron, it's rare when you hear about someone getting multiple arrests and they're constantly innocent of it, right? It's really rare. And the accusations, which he has vehemently denied, that he sent those underage pictures to underage children or whatever, he has never admitted that he did that. And so he has been adamant about this. The story we're reading, his lawyer filed a not guilty plea. The out of county warrant is for a drug situation. So, you know, like people say, where there's smoke, there's fire. And 9 times out of 10, it is accurate when it comes to situations like this. So no matter how many times he pleads not guilty or whatever, something is going on here that is causing these situations to pop up around this young man. And it needs to be addressed. And him constantly denying it, him constantly thinking he can talk his way out of this shit is the wrong path to be walking. What do you think about all this here?
Some people can handle that life and you know, go back to being, you know, whatever. Like, I mean, look at no further than the Hardy brothers. Like, look at Matt Hardy. Like, Matt Hardy had his issues.
Yeah, true. Very true.
And he rebounded. He married Rebby, and he had a bunch of kids, still having kids. And then look at Jeff, who we thought for a long time, it's like, all right, man, Jeff's on the straight and narrow. And then, you know, things happen. And I don't want to see Dream become that story, but you know, he said himself a year ago that the dream is over for now and Patrick Clark needs to go find out things about Patrick Clark.
Right.
And I'm wondering what Patrick Clark found in that time that we're still doing this. So I think Patrick Clark still needs some more time as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, you're probably right for sure. And we'll keep tabs on this because obviously the three of us are kind of fans of Velveteen Dream, not fans obviously of what Patrick Clark, the person, maybe is doing or has done, but certainly about the possibilities of Velveteen Dream down the road. And hopefully there's a happy ending to this story, because certainly professional wrestling is littered with people who took the wrong path and who took the right path. You look no further than whatever your feelings are about Shawn Michaels. He turned it around. Kurt Angle turning it around. There are people who can turn it around and come back and be welcomed back into the family. And I wonder if maybe Triple H, with all the stuff he's working on, I wonder if there's a reach out here from him, because I bet that would mean a lot to someone like Velveteen Dream to have the boss kind of reach out and be like, what do you need? We're here to help you. We don't want to see you go down this path. And I hope that's possibly something that's happening for him. I don't know.
That's a damn good point, John, because for all the flack that we're talking about Vince McMahon currently, one thing that can't be denied, that anytime people had struggles with substance abuse or that weren't even in the company, Vince has a stellar track record of reaching out to those individuals to get them the help that they need. So that hopefully that is one trend from that era, that administration, that Triple H does carry forward.
Yeah, it seems like he really cares about the wrestlers, so it could be a possibility for sure. All right, Aaron, anything? Where do we want to go to?
Sorry, my dog is eating something he shouldn't be, and I'm very much glaring at him. All right, it's awful. Let's move on to Monday Night Raw. I'm trying to forget about what's happening. All right, I'll run it down and we'll talk about it. Damian Priest and Finn Balor of the Judgment Day defeated Dolph Ziggler and AJ Styles. After the match, Dominic confronted Rhea Ripley, but ultimately submitted and gave her a Kindle. We had Asuka, Alexa Bliss, and Bianca Belair defeat some local talent. Kurt Angle and Chad Gable had a shoosh off, leading to the Street Profits coming out and challenging the Alpha Academy, and the Street Profits beat them. Bobby Lashley submitted the Miz with some help from Dexter Lumis. Riddle and Seth Rollins got heated. Then Kevin Owens defeated Jey Uso with some accidental help from his old buddy Sami Zayn. And then in probably the shocker of the night, the week, maybe the year, Raquel Rodriguez and Aaliyah defeated Io Sky and Dakota Kai to become the new women's tag team champions. So there's Monday Night Raw for you.
Chris, what do you got on there?
I texted you guys about this episode. I feel like my initial thoughts after first having watched it were, this was the first really kind of meh Monday Night Raw under Triple H's watch.
Okay.
But there were, weirdly enough, for that review, there were a lot of good things that did happen. The positives being, it was a great idea to put Kurt Angle with Chad Gable.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Don't know if it executed the way they hoped it would.
Kurt's too slow now, man. He can't.
Yeah, he's not. His cognitive response is just not what it once was.
All the hits, all the drug abuse. You can tell the sharpness is not there, because normally Prime Kurt would have killed that promo. Would have killed that 100% back and forth with him. Yeah, you're right.
I don't know if I like what's going on with The Miz and Dexter Lumis, but I am intrigued. So I'll keep giving it a chance, until we find out what that conclusion is going to be. Yeah. It's a weird thing. Like, am I supposed to feel bad for The Miz? He's a heel. You know what I mean? Right, and why do I give a shit if he's kidnapped by Dexter Lumis and then fine the next week? You know what I'm saying? He's not dead. He's not being held in a trunk somewhere. He's going to be okay, even though he doesn't want to talk about it. The Riddle and Seth Rollins thing was maybe the highlight. Not maybe. I know that was the highlight of Raw for sure. Yeah. Just it was so different than anything we've seen in wrestling. I won't even say WWE, just in wrestling in a long time. Yeah. Like, just giving it that extra sense of realism, something that you might see in real sports, something that you might see, just by happenstance, like on the news or something. Oh, the cameras kept rolling and we caught some additional footage. Check this out. And Seth Rollins MVP of this segment, because he was being silly, snarky, Seth. The moment Riddle made that line about Becky, his whole energy changed, his facial expression changed. He got quiet, and it was just like, oh shit, that one cut deep. You know what I mean? And then just like very subtle, hey Riddle, you still there? You know what I mean? Like, for those of us who've been in situations with assholes, you knew something was coming.
Yeah.
And then just, whew, the dagger. You saying shit about my family. Yours wants nothing to do with you. She took the wife and kids because they don't want to see your bitch ass anymore. And then Riddle's response of just like losing his mind. And what I loved about it is, like, again, you've been around people who want to fight. They don't want to talk. Where are you at? Where are you? Where are you right this second? And it was like, oh, it was so great. It was so great. And then how they had seeded it with them getting into a altercation in the parking lot, like earlier before the show.
Right.
They've really made this into a personal issue between the two. This is how you build wrestling feuds that have nothing to do with titles, nothing to do with valets or any like weird angle shenanigans. I don't like you, and I want to beat your face over and over again. And they're delivering it, and it was the best.
Yeah.
So those were the good things on Raw. I'm gonna pass it. We're gonna talk about all the things, and I'll chime in.
All right.
Some of the bad.
Aaron, why don't you take it? I'll swing back after you.
Dude, it's all the Riddle thing for me. Like,
yeah,
I talked to you guys about it. Like, I think I said Wednesday or Thursday. I was like, dude, I'm still buzzing over this. Like, it was so unexpected because it's like, you have let's look at it the other way. Like, Christian and Jungle Boy have this feud, right? And it's like personal. He's talking about his dead dad and stuff, and that's personal enough. And then I see something like this and how it was executed, and I'm like, this is perfection. Because you have Riddle, who is a legit, MMA practitioner who's been in the UFC, and then you have Seth, who's this guy, and it's like, how are we going to make this work? And then Seth just drops the line like, your wife and kids left you. And it's like, yeah, we know that, but I don't think we were supposed to say that. And then kudos to Riddle too, because he's goofball, right?
Yeah,
bro, goofball. And he said, "Where are you?" No, I'm not going to beat you up. I'm going to you up. Where are you? And I was like, oh shit. Like, for a second I said, was that not supposed to slip? But obviously it was. But I thought it was just so well done. Like you said, it's a feud that doesn't have a title that now feels important. And then I just go straight to the main event. I don't know how you have Io and Dakota lose to Aaliyah and Raquel. I don't get it. I don't understand it. I don't know where it's coming from. Unless we're getting Sasha and Naomi back tomorrow, I don't understand. I don't understand how it works. So it seemed to me like it was built. This whole thing was built to be Bianca and Bayley would go off and fight each other.
Right.
Io and Dakota would be the champions, and then them and Sasha and Naomi would fight to see who the real champions are. I thought that's where we were going. But, Vince Russo, being the executive at USA, said, swerve, bro. So there you go. And I hated it. So that's my raw thoughts.
All right. Well, let's dig into this because I think we should dig in. First of all, the shush off. I think Chris nailed it. It could have worked really well. Although the back and forth when they finally got there to the shush off was great, but everything around it didn't quite 100% work. And they keep burying the Alpha Academy, and I hope that means that they're eventually going to rebound here and have them go on a little bit of run because I like those guys together, and I'd hate to think that they're going to get buried. And poor Chad is going to yet again flame out with a new angle or a newest angle that they've done with him. So no pun intended there with the ankle stuff. I don't understand why Asuka, Alexa, and Bianca in a fucking squash match. That makes no sense to me at all at this point. Why even book them if they're going to do crap like that? I don't get it. The Dominic Rhea stuff is really interesting. It's especially when you look at Rhea showing up at NXT for the doing that thing with Davenport. That was interesting. So, like, what's her role in all of this? What are they doing with Judgment Day? Edge coming out and confronting them and verbally confronting them as well, saying they haven't learned much under him and whatever. So we'll see what that leads to. The Loomis stuff is scary in one way. Loomis looks like he would do terrible things to you physically if he wanted to. And it's scary. Like, him standing there, the look on his face is just like, I felt bad for Miz. Like, rarely do I think Miz is like the bitch of the situation, and the way he was looking at Loomis made me feel that way. And I don't know what it is he doesn't want to talk about, but it's going to be very interesting when it finally gets revealed. But yeah, okay, so let's talk about the Kevin Owens and Jey Uso. All of that was really cool. I mean, clearly Sami Zayn is going into a situation where the bloodline's going to turn on him, and he's going to kind of hook it up again with Kevin Owens. So we'll see how that plays itself out. But the two big things, as you guys have mentioned, we should talk about the Rollins and Riddle stuff was just shocking on so many levels. And right, Riddle coming out wanting to find him. This is, again, and Chris, you make up a good point. Like, they saw what AEW and they said, oh, we can go even better. And this is where wrestling has to be. This is where wrestling exists and why it's great, because you can cross those lines. And when you cross those lines, like we saw with Lita and Matt and Edge, where we've seen this real shit come through, it can affect people. You know, I think they went after DDP one time because of Kimberly after they got divorced. Like, those things really kind of affect people, and you can play them out. I'm surprised no one's ever brought up the allegations with Brock and what he's done, or the allegations with Stone Cold. I'm surprised that's never been brought up. But like, apparently this stuff can be brought up, and it's dangerous. It's really dangerous, but that's what gets the fans excited. And look, I haven't mentioned the Shimona in a long time, but I will say that I think that's one of the biggest reasons it fell apart, because people did not want to blur those lines between reality and fiction that allowed fans to be even more engrossed and delude themselves that there was real heat between people. So no matter what thing you're doing, that matters, and you got to have the right people to do it. I think both of them did a really good job. And you both bring up the excellent point that Riddle just changed in that moment. Started dropping F-bombs, which I didn't think we were going to see ever on, in that way. And so seeing it come out was great. But the Raquel Rodriguez Aaliyah thing, I was happy for them because I like Aaliyah. I kind of support Aaliyah. I'm on record on this show saying that their victory, a little bit surprising, but Io Sky and Dakota Kai, to me, have never moved the needle individually or together that much. So to me, if this is the door opening for Bayley to kick them out and Sasha and Naomi come, and this is the new faction, sweet Mary Mother of God, and they go and just demolish Raquel and Aaliyah, then you've really set up something powerful in the women's division. So that's what I think is going to happen. I don't know if that's going to happen, but I feel like that would be awesome to see that happen. What do you guys think about the tag team thing? What do you think is going on with that?
That is okay. First of all, put so much more respect on Io Shirai and Dakota Kai.
I can't do it. They've never done it for me.
Io in particular has had so many bangers in NXT. I'm baffled by that take.
Okay.
But okay, everyone's entitled to their opinion. Sure, absolutely. But you bring up an interesting point. I never considered Bayley teaming with Naomi and Sasha upon their return.
Yeah.
It always seemed like we were headed for a clash between Bayley's crew and the eventual returning Sasha and Naomi. But honestly, what you just said is the only thing that makes sense, because what they did made zero sense, in my opinion. It's just like, let's just look at it. Kayfabe for a second. Aaliyah's been a nothing on the main roster. Aaliyah has been a complete jobber, losing to everyone. All of a sudden thrown into this Franken team with Raquel Gonzalez. They go against this proper tag team, which is Io and Dakota, who were brought up to the main roster together under Bayley's tutelage. And their first major match, they fucking lose. They lose.
Right.
It didn't. I get it in a way. I've been thinking about this since Monday about what Triple H could have been thinking. Maybe it's because he felt like it was too predictable. And so, okay, but my stance, I say this on the show all the time. Sometimes predictable is just the right thing to do. Sometimes it just is, you know what I mean? And you can't get around it, and people are going to respond the appropriate way because it's the right thing. Who cares if they called it? It is what it is. The other thing, people sometimes complain about when you introduce a title into a feud that doesn't necessarily need one. And they're already telling a story of Bianca and her buddies versus Bayley and her buddies. So why complicate things by putting the tag belts in there when they have this trios match at the pay-per-view? That's not going to have anything to do with the belts. So I kind of understand it a little bit, but it's just like, no, Io and Dakota should have won. That just is what that is. Like, it doesn't. They have to be put over strong right now. They have to look. They have to look as strong as possible. And having them lose, and then also uninspired finish. I feel like we saw 3 different blind tag finishes in the last 3 women's tag team title. Although we just did a blind tag kind of thing with Sonya, where no one knew she was the legal man, and then it was like, all right, man, like, give me something different. But yeah, they should have won. They just bottom line. And then I had a thought of like, okay, you know what I think they might do? What if Io and Dakota showed up on NXT and challenged for the NXT belts? Oh, but instead we got
something else.
And Doudrop doing that, and I was like, what the hell is that? Like, that was that would make more sense because they're heels, and it's like, okay, we lost. We're gonna go get the other titles, and then we're gonna dispute these new champions, and we're like, no, we're the champions, and now you can have that clash, and it makes a little bit more sense booking wise. Right. But now I'm just like lost. I don't know what the plan is, and not in a way that I like. You know what I mean? Not knowing what's next as intrigue and interest and blah blah blah. This, I'm just like confused. I'm just utterly confused. I don't know how they look stronger. I don't know how they look better. I think you now telegraph that they're definitely going to win at Clash at the Castle. Yeah, it's just like, I don't know. It was just weird decision making.
Eric?
John, you had a take no more than 3 minutes ago. And the first thing that popped in my head was, where are you? That was the first thing that popped in my head. But like,
where the fuck are you?
Where the fuck are you? Io's had bangers. Dakota's a pinball, man. Like I said, like in those War Games matches, she's a pinball dude. She does everything you need to do.
Candice LeRae or Dakota Kai?
Dakota.
Okay, go ahead.
Take a Dakota. Fine, I'm doing it.
I don't understand.
Yes, all day, team kick, baby. Yeah, it just doesn't make sense. They absolutely should have won. And if you're going to convolute this thing, because if now we have a disputed finish because like Dakota wasn't legal or whoever got pinned, right. So it's like, well, let's have a rematch. And then what? Io and Dakota win, and then Sasha and Naomi come out, and then Sasha and Naomi beat them. And it's like, God damn it!
It makes no sense.
You made it too messy. Made it too messy. So, yeah. Oh, I also want to throw in there the segment with Edge and Kurt Angle with the signs, calling it back to the early SmackDown days. Love it. Love that.
Still way more heartwarming than it had any right to be. That segment. I was just like, oh, I remember when they did it. And then I was legitimately like, it kind of moved by it. I was like, oh, that's adorable.
See, people are saying, oh, Bayley and them are going to win tomorrow. I don't think, well, we'll find out. We're going to do my predictions when we get to that section of the show, because I've got my thoughts with my angle that connect to what I'm saying. But yeah, you're right, Aaron. They made it too messy if they go that route. It doesn't make any sense. All you've done is, oh, we tricked you, but you were right all along, and eventually we're going to give them the belt. So there is no winning here by delaying it a week or two. It just doesn't make any sense. So on so many levels, and because you're right, because what you said, Chris, Aaliyah's a jobber. She's been a jobber for a while. I like her, and she does the job, and she's a good, decent wrestler. Raquel was doing all the heavy lifting. And maybe they did this as a way like, Raquel, here's a belt, in the top division. You can claim that you got a belt here as well as NXT. So this kind of helps you move along in the process, get in front of people's eyes. The possibility if they make the turn and kick out Io and Dakota, it turns them into faces. And I think people want to cheer for them as faces big time. And so that could be the move here. And so if you're setting up Dakota Kai and Io Shirai down the road versus Naomi and Sasha in a tag team match 6 months from now or 3 months from now after they've been faces, there's a much more interesting angle there than having them get squashed by Sasha and Naomi now. So I don't know, just something to play around with. But
just say you're wrong.
Yeah, I'm just saying. And when it happens, though, you think about it.
I will tell you are right.
Let's hit some Streamlabs super chats here. YA Film says, hello, what a great weekend we got coming. I strongly believe the WWE should rename their world titles. Oh, interesting. I don't like that the world champ in the women's division isn't called the world champ. Men's WWE world champion and women's WWE world champion. Thoughts? Gentlemen, what do you think about that?
Well, the men's title wasn't the world title until recently when it became the undisputed Universal Championship with Roman, right? It was the WWE title and the Universal title. But I think a lot of that's going to change now because I'm even hearing that Triple H is looking into replacing the belts with new designs.
Whoa, really?
Wow. And so we might not even see these titles in their current form going forward, really. Because you know him, he's a pro wrestling guy. I'm sure he wants a world heavyweight championship.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? An Intercontinental Championship, a United States Championship, and I'm sure whatever new iteration of the women's championship will more than likely be. I don't know if they'll say the women's heavyweight champion, but they'll probably say.
Sound good.
Yeah. They'll probably say WWE Women's World Champion because you're right. To your point, you're right. It should be that.
Yeah. Aaron, thoughts on that?
More streamlined, yes. I don't think you need to change the names. I think you just because I mean, is it that hard to follow? I don't think it's hard to follow.
Yeah, I don't think so either. But I don't know. Maybe streamlining is not a bad idea, though. You're right. Empire Fan 1980 says if the Seth, let me bring it up. I want to bring it. If the Seth and Riddle promo was face to face, as soon as he said Becky's name, he'd slap him and tell him to keep his wife's name out of his mouth. LOL. There you go. That would have been a fun thing to play, I suppose.
I see what you did there, but Becky don't need nobody to fight her battles.
Yeah, that's true. It's very true. Roberto Arsenal saying, with 3 big events this weekend, which match will be the match of the weekend? I think Omega and Hangman will make the trios match of the weekend. Roberto, let's put a pin in that because we're going to do all these predictions, and let's swing back to answer. Aaron, will you remember that we answer this before we end the show? Because I think it'd be good for us to come back and answer that, Roberto. By the way, Roberto got some weird takes here, man, trying to say Io Shirai is a better wrestler than Bayley. You got to calm it down, Roberto. You got to calm it down, Bayley.
Different strokes for different folks.
I'm about to say, I know what you mean, Roberto, but no, you're also very wrong.
All right, let's head on off to the next thing. Keep sending in your Streamlabs and Super Chats as we go along. What do we got here, Aaron?
Wait.
Nope.
I do want to go back. I totally forgot in my good things from Raw. Cannot say enough how much I'm enjoying KO and Sammy and the Bloodline and all of that's happening there. KO, they have not had a proper tweener in again, not in WWE, in wrestling in a long time. Someone who can fight heels and baby faces and it doesn't matter. And KO is pulling it off perfectly. Yeah. Absolutely perfectly. The way they're rebuilding Sami Zayn to be taken seriously as a wrestler. KO cutting the promo. Like, I feel like with all this nonsense, people are forgetting you're one of the best in-ring people of all time. Tell me that you don't want to see the Usos versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn for the tag team titles. Tell me you don't want to see that.
God, yes.
And then
100% yes.
Think of the future. If KO and Sami win the belts, clearly we're heading towards a Ciampa and Gargano reunion. Can you imagine DIY versus Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens? Come on now. We're talking about SmackDown 6 era of wrestling stuff. I'm excited about it. This is tag team division being done correctly.
And then in 2 years, we'll get Gargano and Ciampa versus FTR again.
Oh, yeah, maybe. That's a good point.
A lot sooner.
I will say this: one of the only perks of COVID is when you're forced to rest. You don't do any shows. You sit around resting or sleeping you can watch some wrestling matches. I went back and watched some of the classic DIY matches. Oh my God, man. Those guys were incredible, are incredible. And so if we're going to put them back together again down the road, no one will be more excited than me to see them do it one more time there on the in the WWE. So yeah, they're so good. I mean, and I saw one of their matches against each other again because they're so good with each other. Some of the most quietly brutal matches that you're ever going to watch are those matches between Ciampa and Gargano. They put each other through hell in those matches, man. So anyway, all right, let's move on here. Aaron, where are we going to next?
All right, so we are moving on to some NXT notes, and then we're just going to go ahead and preview and predict Worlds Collide because we got so much. Starting off with Caden Carter and Katana Chance defeating Tatum Paxley and Ivy Nile. Say that 5 times fast. After the match, the tag team champions Carter and Chance were challenged by Doudrop and Nikki ASH, which Chris alluded to for Worlds Collide. So we're going to get that NXT tag team title match. Then we had a bunch of cameos. Finn Balor showed up to wish Braun Breaker good luck. Pete Dunne was on a video call, wished Tyler Bate good luck. That wasn't Butch, that was Pete Dunne. Shayna Baszler confronted Mandy Rose. Rhea Ripley confronted Blair Davenport. Gunther confronted big strong boy Tyler Bate. Alba Fire, she just said, you're really good. And said good luck to Mako. And then we had the segment with Ciampa. Getting to see Goldie again, and he wished Braun Breaker good luck. And we ended the show with Carmelo Hayes saying, hey, if you're not going to put me on the card, I'm just not going to show up. I'm not going to defend my title. And then Ricochet came out and challenged Carmelo Hayes for the North American Championship at Worlds Collide. So that was basically NXT in a nutshell. We also had some stuff with the Creed brothers and Gallus and that, but it wasn't that good. So there's that.
And we got to see, oh God, who's the one we love who just wrestled for the title? Zoe Stark. We got to see Zoe Stark again doing her thing, which was great.
Crushed some girl I've never heard of.
Yeah, and then almost got attacked from behind, and then Nikita came out. Nikita quicker than I thought. That spin kick. Well, you know, a lot of people make that thing. You can see it coming a mile away. Hers are scary quick. So I like seeing her.
But bro.
To me, the back and forth between Carmelo and Ricochet was awesome. When did this Ricochet show up? And can we get him in front of the mic more? Because that's been the biggest thing with Ricochet is that he hasn't been able to really kind of kill it on the mic. His back and forth with Carmelo was great. I mean, the homeboy thing, just hammering that home. And then the one and only, I am the one. No, I am. It was so funny. And then turning it and saying, you know, I want it back. I want to be a 2-time North American. All of the back and forth was great. Plus, shout out to that shirt he was wearing. That's a nice shirt he was wearing. So all across the board, to me, that was the moment of the night. Those two going back and forth. And then Ricochet handling both those guys and standing over Carmelo with the belt. What stood out to you guys?
When Triple H is in town, everything is black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow.
Nice.
I mean, was that not an episode of Black and
really
Gold
was.
NXT, or was it not?
Did feel that way.
Mean, what are we talking about? He's like, Papa's home was, I thought, the statement in that episode. It was just like, I don't know what they've turned my child into, but I'm going to remind you of the legacy that I left behind. And I'm going to have these fuckers show up and represent and remind people the importance of each one of these titles, remind them of the prestige of NXT, which it's hilarious that episode happened and all that stuff happened only for Triple H to be on Ariel Helwani today and be like, whoa, AEW beat our developmental brand, whatever. But it's like, no, son. It was way more important than a developmental brand, you know, in its heyday, without question. And this episode proved it because having those people showed up, all the feels of like, oh yeah, remember when he was champion? It was so much, you know, more important, so much, you know, had so much more gravitas to it. And that's what's been missing from NXT 2.0, period. It is the gravitas, the idea that, it's developmental, but developmental in a way that, you know, it can live on its own. And I did enjoy that about what Triple H said about NXT in his Ariel interview, where he said, you got to look at NXT like college football. It's a different thing. It's still great football. You know what I mean? And some people like it better than the NFL. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, that's a good way, I think, to look at how NXT should be. When you just put a bunch of noobs in there who don't know what they're doing, you know what I mean? And you're like, oh, it's developmental. That doesn't work. When you try to make it exclusively a third brand that's not developing people, that doesn't work either. It has to be a hybrid. And what is starting to coalesce there, I think, is we're getting it on the right track. Once we get Mandy out of there, sorry, Aaron. Once we get, even Breaker, once they turn his name back to Steiner and get him on the main roster, I think that'll give the place room to breathe. But I also think that a lot of these guys that maybe were kind of eating shit on the main roster, Ricochet, great example, maybe should win. You know what I mean, at Worlds Collide, and do a little bit of rehab. I mean, Ricochet's won a couple matches, over Baron Corbin the last couple weeks. Yeah. But to your point, he seemed like a different human being on this episode of NXT because he was a different human being when he was in NXT. And also, people forget because of his moveset, Ricochet is usually a heel. He was a heel in Japan. He was a heel in PWG. He's a bad guy. He's King Ricochet. He wore a crown to the ring and talked about how no one could, do what he does, which he's right about, by the way. And so that's more of his pocket. Let him stay in that pocket. I don't think he's been a heel on the main roster.
Yeah, let him be. I mean, because his say, like, it's great that you got a lot of defensive. The problem is nobody remembers any of them. And I was like, oh, shit. Which has, of course, been the knock on Carmelo, is that there's not really a banger match you can think about. Although he does a great job in the matches, there's not a lot of memorable matches. So it's a great shot to take that plays, once again, on that line between blurring reality and fiction. So it's brilliant. Yeah.
So I thoroughly enjoyed it. Seeing people get to kind of break character a little bit too, with the Finn Balor of it all, and Rhea, and no Butch, like you said, it's straight up Pete Dunne. I had no idea that Walter would show up. That was a great touch. So I told you guys in the chat, this went from like I don't know what it's going to be to I can't miss this. I can't wait to watch this premium live event.
Aaron,
I just want to say that if Carmelo Hayes comes up to the roster without Trick Williams, I'm going to be upset, because I was cackling when Ricochet got in there and Carmelo Hayes was like, he's got a microphone, and then he's like, oh man, he's got a microphone. Then Trick Williams, so quick, goes, yeah, don't hurt yourself, dog. Like, I fucking died. That's hilarious. And it's gonna be a banger, all-time banger. So I'm ready for this. that got me.
All right, let's move on to the matches, man. Let's do some predictions here for Worlds Collide, right?
All right, Worlds Collide predictions and previews. First matchup on the docket, we have a fatal four-way to unify the NXT UK and NXT tag titles. I love my many tag teams. Pretty Deadly versus Briggs and Jensen versus Gallus versus the Creed brothers. Who you got? And John, do you know any of these teams?
I don't think I know any of these teams. I gotta be honest with you, but I did see Pretty Deadly come out, which is it's not a new version of Breezango. It seems like, from the outfits they're wearing.
You put some respect.
I'm just
on
saying
Pretty Deadly.
The outfits they're wearing, that is Breezango. I don't care what anybody says. I'll go with Gallus. I don't know who these people are. I go with Gallus. Chris, who you got?
I was actually going to pick Gallus also. They seem like,
they have cool music.
I feel like I don't know. They've been, and the little bit of NXT I've been watching over the last few weeks, those seem to be the ones that they put the kind of spotlight on. And so going forward, it seems like they're kind of the chosen ones. So why not Gallus?
Okay.
I was thinking Gallus, but I'm actually going to turn to the Creed brothers because I think they really like them. And they're doing a lot with them. They get a lot of TV time. So I'm thinking the Creed brothers.
All right. What's our next one?
Our next match is for the NXT Women's Tag Team Championship. It is Katana Chance and Kaden Carter versus Doudrop and a new look Nikki ASH. What do you think?
You take this one first, Chris.
Nikki's ditched the cape, but I don't know if that means she's picking up a win here. Again, I think that it's a weird decision to have them be here in this situation, I guess, to add to the whole Worlds Collide theme because they're both like British or whatever.
Yeah, Scottish, yeah.
No, I think Chance and Carter retain. I think they retain.
I think they have to retain because they're still kind of building their resume, build themselves up. It makes no sense for Doudrop and Nikki ASH to win unless you're maybe moving them down there to kind of, as you said, Chris, earlier, kind of revitalize themselves a little bit down there, get recharged, build some energy back up again for them to move back up again. So that's the way I would lean to it. But I feel like it's got to be Chance Carter in some kind of miracle victory. And look, nobody's going to lose any sleep that ASH and Doudrop lose. Right. So it makes sense as you're building them up that they somehow get this victory, maybe by a fluke situation or whatever, but they get the victory, and that's what matters. Because I'm not fully convinced on Chance and Carter. I think they're still green. So for me, I think it would help them to get a victory here in this situation. And ASH and Doudrop putting them over, I think is a good thing too. Here.
Chance and Carter retain. It'll be entertaining. Hopefully they pin Nikki and not Doudrop because I want to see Doudrop do more. It looks like that Toxic Attraction is on their way up. So
yeah, it seems like
they're going to need some teams. So maybe Nikki and Doudrop fill that role, but I'm going to go with Katana and Kaden for this one.
Okay.
It also seems like Doudrop and Nikki are on the verge of having their gimmicks changed. I wouldn't doubt if she goes back to Piper Niven pretty quickly, and then she goes back to Nikki Cross. And maybe them losing this is the final catalyst to kill these current characters.
There you go.
Okay.
Our next match is the one we just kind of talked about, the North American Championship. It is Carmelo Hayes versus Rick O'Shea.
I mean, I feel like you have to go Carmelo Hayes unless Ricochet is coming down to stay for a bit. And I guess that's the kind of vibe I have with some of these people who are not at NXT kind of challenging here. Or this is kind of a trial run, you know, Triple H saying, Carmelo, you really want to jump up to the next level? Let's see what you can do with a premier talent like Ricochet. What kind of match can you pull off? Show me what you got, kid. And then maybe this is an ascension type situation for Carmelo. So for me, I got Carmelo winning here. Although I wouldn't be surprised if Ricochet takes the victory if he's going to stick around, because that could be a nice program for those two guys to work, because it both helps Carmelo get over even more and kind of revitalizes Ricochet, and showing him on the mic and dropping some heel promos would be great. What do you think, Chris?
Yeah, something in me feels like Carmelo's going to the main roster too. And
yeah, okay.
To me, this might be how he loses the title and can just go and be free and go to the main roster, and Ricochet can go back and forth. You know what I mean? Having been established on both. So I'm going with Ricochet. I think that he's in the middle of his rehab of his character, and you got to keep the momentum going where it's going. Carmelo will be fine. You know what I mean? He's totally fine. He can start at the main roster with a total clean slate, you know, not damaged at all. Everyone loses on their way out of NXT as a champion. Right. So this could be a great way to do it, especially because if all our expectations are met as far as how good this match is going to be, no one's going to look bad if they lose.
Chris, Aaron, what do you got?
Going Carmelo. I think it's going to be a great match, one of the best of the weekend. I have a feeling that Carmelo is going to go up, but not right now.
Okay.
I think we may have to wait till early next year for that. And I think that a good guy to establish that North American title, to take it from him, and that could also have some banger matches, that's a veteran at this point, is Apollo Crews. That's a guy that I look at that they brought down to NXT. They brought him back to I don't know what for, but they brought him back as former Intercontinental Champion, former United States Champion. And I think they work well together. Apollo's bigger than Carmelo Hayes, but they have a similar move set in some respects. And I think they'd work well together. So that's where I kind of wanted to go. Ricochet, I think he's just here for a cup of coffee because much like Ciampa, he's Triple H's boy. He's just Triple H is going to do too much with him.
Okay, fair enough. All right, let's move on to the next one.
All right, next match is a heartbreaker for me. It is the NXT UK / NXT Women's Title Unification Triple Threat match. Mandy Rose versus Meiko Satomura versus Blair Davenport. What you got here?
I'm taking the Celt. I'm going Blair Davenport. I think she's absolutely going to win this one somehow, some way, especially because they show that Mandy couldn't get a hold of Toxic Attraction. That is so reminiscent of Paul Orndorff trying to get Hulk Hogan on the phone from way back in the 1980s. When you can't get your people on the phone, ladies and gentlemen, that means you're on your way out. So let me just say it. I have the feeling that, and the way they hyped up Blair Davenport at that NXT taping was having Rhea come in. Rhea essentially giving her the blessing, I thought was really great. So, and telling her, don't mess this up. Whereas Shayna came up to Mandy and was like, you better do the job or else, you're going to come back to being a nobody. And so, like, there is a really strong case here to be made for Blair Davenport winning this thing. And I think they know who the better wrestlers are in this equation. So I think Blair can absolutely take the belt in this situation. What do you got, Chris?
I just don't want Mandy to win because I don't have to deal with Aaron on the subsequent episode.
He already broke one shelf.
You know what I mean? I just feel like you're going to just be like unbearable if she wins. But I'm going to pick Blair also.
Yeah.
I think that she has the most to gain, clearly, by picking up the win. She's the one walking in naked, no strap. And it's like, yo, this is a great time to elevate her. I think, Mandy's probably going to reunite with Sonya. They'll feud with Toxic Attraction on the main roster.
That's a good idea.
And I think that, Meiko, she's fine. You know what I mean? Yeah. She's totally fine. She could take a loss here and elevate a younger talent who they're going to probably want to run with in the next few months to a year. So, yeah, I think Blair's the right one. That's a good call.
I think Blair's the new Paige. I think that's what they see the possibility there. What do you got, Aaron? Who do you think? I know it's your girl.
I'm going to be in agreement with you guys. I'm going Blair Davenport. I think that, like Chris, I think you guys both made really great points. She's got the most to gain. They really showed her out on that episode, showing how dangerous she is. I think that Rhea coming in and giving her the rub, I think that really made her a threat in this. And I mean, let's look at it. Like, if Mandy wins, like, what does that do to the prestige of the NXT Championship? Like, it's just not there, right? Like, it's I'm not stupid enough to think that, but and Meiko, she's done it all. She's been around the world. She was in fucking WCW. She doesn't have nothing to prove. She's Teflon. So to me, you want to use this platform to elevate people, and I think Blair Davenport's the one you have to elevate here.
Yeah, agreed. Meiko is 44 years old. Shout out to her.
Dude, she was in WCW. I'm not playing.
Yes. Get it, man. All right, what's the next one?
All right, next match is our main event. It is the NXT and NXT UK Championship Unification bout. It is the NXT champion Braun Breaker versus the big strong boy, two-time NXT UK heavyweight champion Tyler Bate. Who you got?
Tyler Bate, you son of a bitch. You beat Trent Seven, you son of a bitch. You lousy son of a bitch. I think absolutely that Braun Breaker wins this one. I mean, he's their guy. I mean, he's their number one guy. He's the guy they want to go into the moon. And so this will just further cement his ascendancy, shall we say. And I think Tyler Bate's going to be a great challenge for him because of the style that Tyler Bate brings to the ring here. Braun is a bruiser. Braun can go, but Braun is a bruiser. You got someone like Tyler Bate who is quite quick, nefarious, smart, now, dare I say, a veteran. So it's going to be very interesting to see how he puts the kid through his paces here for this match and if they have good chemistry. But, yeah, I think in the end, Braun Breaker gets the victory. What do you got, Chris?
Yeah, I think this has got to be Braun's signature win. Yeah, he's the champion. He's beat some guys, but you can't think. I don't have any in my head where it's like that was the one that was like, oh, Braun's the man. And if anyone's going to give you a incredible match, it's going to be Tyler Bate. So I think they're going to have an incredible match. Braun gets the win. That's his signature. That's his stamp. He's the champion. He's the guy. He's the top guy. And they go from there. I think that's why Tyler's in that position for sure.
Yeah, fair enough.
Call me crazy. I'm going Tyler Bate.
Wow.
Because and I think that one of two things can happen. If Tyler Bate loses, then I think that to me it would make sense to put him and Pete Dunne in a tag team. If we're putting emphases on tag teams, then let's put them together. If Tyler wants to move, I don't know if he does, but I think that for the short term he could be a really good champion for you. And I just think that like this kid, this Braun Breaker, Bronson Rechsteiner, is a fucking blue chipper. We know this already. The dude, he's probably the most bulletproof prospect we've seen in wrestling in a long time, and he's the Peyton Manning of the draft class. Like I think we know what we have here, and he's going to be fine. Like if you want to wait a couple months to bring him up, you can do that. You can repackage him. With the rumors. We could kind of talk about this with the rumors of Braun Strowman coming back.
Yeah.
I threw this out there that, Braun Breaker comes to the main roster. One of the things that Vinceism that I really like is you can't have two people with the same name. It's confusing to me, even. Hangman Page, Ego Page, Christian Cage. It's fucking confusing. So Braun Breaker comes on the main roster. He says, my name is Braun, or my name is Rex Steiner. My dad was Rick Steiner. My uncle is Scott Steiner. I want the Steiner name. I am Rex Steiner. So that would be great. I think it's time. I think you can develop him as he goes. You don't have to thrust him to the main event of WrestleMania right away. You can bring him in there. You can build him up as a Goldberg type if you want, or a Dave Bautista, however you want to do it.
Yeah, I'm down with that. Absolutely. All right. Is that the last match on NXT Worlds Collide?
That's it.
All right, that's going to be on Sunday, y'all. But I imagine it'll be on Peacock. So if you got Peacock, right? Is that right? It's going to be on Peacock.
Yeah, 4:00.
4:00. There you go. Put it on your calendars for sure. All right, I might do a Twitch watch along of it depending on the situation, but I'm certainly going to do one for a Clash at the Castle if I'm still feeling good tomorrow, still recovering from COVID. All right, where are we off to next? Oh, wait, let me hit some of these Streamlabs.
Yeah.
First of all, Justin Toner says, hi, guys. Glad you're back and feeling better, John. Thank you, Justin. Since you missed last week, your thoughts on Johnny Gargano's return on Raw and this building of a feud with Theory last week and this week. Excited for all the wrestling this weekend. Yeah, I love that Johnny is back. I was surprised that there wasn't a bigger, louder yell for Johnny. But in the end, it was great that he's back. And I'm excited to see what he's going to do in the WWE here in the roster because, he's a small guy. Are they going to be able to – he can go, obviously. We all know he can go. But are they going to find the right people to put him with to keep him in people's minds as well? Austin Theory is an up-and-comer, also a blue chipper, you might say, Aaron. And so it's going to be good for them to kind of go through the paces with each other. I think he's going to learn a lot from Gargano, Austin Theory is, in this program. So I'm a big fan of it for sure. And I can't wait to see more. And yes, the reunification of DIY would be awesome. Andrew Russell says, first off, hope you're doing well, John. I'm doing okay for the second day off of this thing. Secondly, and most importantly, I'm 100% with Aaron. Team kick all the way over the Poison Pixie. Oof. Aaron,
he knows. Yeah, team kick over the Poison Pixie. We know.
There you go.
You can bleed all you want in the ring with the Young Bucks. That don't make you great, okay?
Oh, good thing. AZ Badfish is here. Now we can start the show. Motherfucker, you're an hour late. You're an hour late, AZ.
Hey, we started at a different time.
Come on.
So leave him alone. Leave him alone.
Sit in the back and think about what you did coming an hour late. All right, let's go.
Could I ask a quick question that may cause a deep discussion on accident? Why is Booker T not a trainer at the WWE Performance Center?
I think he probably likes doing what he's doing down in Houston. He's running his own promotion. He's really busy on the ESPN stuff with him and Gilmore. So I don't think he has the time, to be honest with you, to do, other than drop-ins, to do consistent training at the Performance Center, I would imagine.
Yeah.
What do you think, Chris?
No, yeah, it's just scheduling, probably. Just, he's enjoying his retirement. He gets to be a shill for WWE and do everything he's doing in Houston and with his promotion. He occasionally wrestles for that promotion. Like, he's fine.
Yeah.
I would bet if I were WWE, even maybe like short term, maybe for like 6 months, like I would back up the money truck and be like, look, what's it going to take for you to come down here and bring in our NIL, our name, image, likeness guys? Like, what's it going to take for you to get them up to speed? Will as RAW grows, will RAW become reality wrestling? Will it become like a new farm league, like an OVW? Because I mean, we've seen so many people come out of it.
Yeah, Roxy.
Ember Moon, the Usos, Roxy. We've seen them all come out of there. So I think that'd be a good idea. Just throwing it out there. Triple H, hire me.
All right, fair enough. I want to throw one thing out here too. Last night I watched the Tim Donaghy documentary that has just dropped on Netflix about his point shaving, all the stuff he did there. Not point shaving, fixing games as a referee. Really fascinating doc. Near the end, they talk about what he did after he came out of prison. Had no idea he was a referee for MLW for a while. That shocked the shit out of me. They showed the clip, and I was like, what the fuck? And he said, I just did what I needed to do to make money and stay alive. So, shout out to him. Anyway, if you want to watch that, it's on Netflix. All right, what's next here, Aaron?
All right, we're going to light the fuse. We're going to talk about it. It is AEW Dynamite. We started with Jon Moxley cutting a promo on CM Punk.
Then we're in Chicago, by the way. We're in Chicago.
Yeah, we are in Chicago. We had Bryan Danielson defeating Jake Hager, made him look like $1 million. Then he hit Jericho with a running knee after some miscommunication between Jericho and Daniel Garcia. W. Morrissey, the former Big Cass, showed up and destroyed the Wingmen, a.k.a. 4 Jobbers. Hikaru Shida and Tony Storm defeated Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter. CM Punk cut a promo after being pumped up by Ace Steel, who dropped an F-bomb on live television. Yeah. And then Punk signed the contract for All Out while in the crowd with Chicago. Christian and Jungle Boy had a sit-down with JR. Not too much to go on there. Wardlow and FTR defeated some job guys. Wheeler Yuta defeated Rush, Phoenix, and Dante Martin. And the Elite defeated Will Ospreay and Aussie Open to move to the finals of the Trios title tournament. So that was AEW Dynamite.
Chris, what stood out to you, man?
I thought it was a decent go-home show. It really is sort of unfortunate that, Will Ospreay on his Twitter to kind of thanked the AEW fans and said this is kind of it for a while.
That sucks. That was a good match.
Because we need Ospreay Omega. Like, we need that, right? Like, that's the one.
Pretty much established it, yeah.
And I said this before, but God, Omega is so important to AEW. When he wasn't there, it just seemed like the company was different, didn't it? Like the feel of the brand was different.
They were like WWE light, and Omega comes back and gives them a grittiness that they didn't have when he wasn't there. I agree.
When you were out last week, I think it's he's their identity.
Yeah, 100%.
He's the identity of AEW. He really is. Like even when he was in Japan, same thing. At the end of the night, Kenny gets on the mic. Thank you, mwah, bang. You know what I mean? Like he's the guy.
Yeah.
And so when it's not focused around him as the top guy, it just seems like a mess. You know what I mean? Even with Punk and Moxley being the ones going for the world title, like he is the keystone to that company, and it feels better with him being around. Bullet Club for life, but so obviously I thought that was a highlight. I told you what they were doing with the whole injury thing. The shoulder harness was gone.
Yeah,
one piece at a time. I told you that was going to happen, didn't I?
You did.
You probably going to be shirtless. I don't understand bringing in Morrissey. Let me preface by saying, good on him. Talking about someone who battled with demons and was causing all sorts of mayhem in the indie scene and got in super duper shape. You know, found some inner peace. I think he's married now or in a serious relationship. You know, good on him. You got to bring in Enzo.
You have
to bring in Enzo.
It doesn't work without him.
It's incomplete without him. Yeah. It doesn't make any sense. Even if Enzo's not going to wrestle, just he's the mic guy. Let it be. Let it be. I'm sorry. Sometimes things are just correct. So like I said, it's just correct. You got to bring in Enzo. It is what it is. You know, that's a guy who's matured as well, and he made a lot of mistakes. I'm not caping for him because he's my friend. He knows it. I've talked to him about it. Like, bro, you were kind of ill, you know what I mean, back in the day, and you've been humbled now, and you know you're ready. He's ready to give it a real shot. I think the work he's done in MLW has been really good. So it's like, come on, Tony, cut the check. Bring in Muscles Marinara. The rest of the show, Moxley's promos. They really are the same, aren't they? It really is. I spit blood. I'm gonna chew on your head. And I like, okay.
I'm gonna eat your children.
He sounds like a Mortal Kombat character.
Yeah. This might be blasphemous, but Moxley has a world title coming up, world title match coming up with Nick Gage in GCW, where it's Gage's career versus Moxley's world title. And that's more interesting to me than this. I gotta be honest. Moxley's been having great matches. He's been having great matches. I'm not in love with this story of the Hurt Punk, and because there's no heel.
He's really the heart and soul of AEW. Don't you know that? He'll be the first one to tell you. He's the heart and soul.
He really will. He will inform you of everything he means to us as fans and the company and how much he's worked his ass off. And to his credit, he's worked very hard. And like I said, he's had some really good matches the last few weeks. This story ain't enough for me. Punk's foot hurt, and I'm supposed to believe that he's lost all his spirit to like won his title back. You know what I mean? It's like he walked into a match injured already. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, so he's gonna do it again on Sunday. I don't know. It's not hitting me. It's not hitting for me the way I need it to. You guys might feel differently. So, you know, that was the Moxley promo. Blood, I'm going to bite you. I'm going to, you know, the whole thing. The Shida, Tony Storm, Britt Baker, Jamie Hayter. Decent match. We're going to talk about Thunder Rosa, right?
Yeah. We're going to bring
some of the comments that like Tony Khan made. And we'll get into that. This women's division, bro. Get someone in there. Figure it out, man. You got some decent pieces. Figure it out. That's all I can keep saying about AEW's women's division. Christian Jungle Boy segment, again, just very adjacent to what I need it to be.
It's almost there.
It's almost there. And Christian is doing his damnedest with this kid, but it's like, you know, it was just very robotic. Like, this weekend, you're not fighting Jungle Boy. You're fighting Jack Perry.
I like that one. I
enjoyed the line, but it didn't. You think that delivered the way Riddle and Rollins delivered?
Not even close.
Which was essentially the same segment. Like, come on now. This guy's been talking about his dead father for like a year. You know what I'm saying? I need more passion than that. You know what it would have made it a perfect segment is if, like JR said at the beginning, the only reason I agreed to do this is because you said no physicality. And then both guys was like, agreed, no physicality. And then Jungle Boy rose up and just punched him in the face. That would have made the whole segment. Like, I know what I said, but I hate this motherfucker. He's, again, talking about my dead father for months and months. Go after him. Go get him, man. Blood feud, baby. Yeah, Wardlow and FTR beating up jobbers made it very clear that all the rumors are true, that they're being buried by the Young Bucks.
Yeah.
Makes no sense that that third match isn't happening at the pay-per-view. No sense at all. And then, you know, all I got from that, the other tag team match was that the Lucha Brothers need to be in WWE. They need to be in WWE.
That's not a bad idea.
What are they doing with those guys? Rey Fénix is transcendently talented.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we never thought we would see ridiculousness like we saw Rey Mysterio in early WCW. The things that Rey Fénix is able to do rival it at times. And you're just like, damn, this guy is like, it's so good. And Penta has so much personality and so much, you know, things that the fans get behind. They have not leveraged the Zero Miedo enough in AEW, I would say. They'd be on T-shirts. They'd have the big hands in WWE. They would be super. They got to go. They got to go. They got to go across the pond. They have to. I wonder how much longer their contract is up. I know FTR is stuck there for another 2 years. Then it took them off of the video game. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. But again, Kenny's back. Yeah. So that I'm optimistic. But this episode just had a lot of problems. A lot of problems for me.
What do you think there, Aaron? Why don't you go next on this one?
Well, I mean, I'm gonna need you guys to put some respect on Jon Moxley. How many times have I said, like, I'm so sick of this guy, but I like what he's doing. I like
you're coming around on him, is what you're saying.
I'm coming around on him for now, and I think that as the face of AEW right now, I guess that works for now. Yeah. But then again, I once again reserve the right to be wrong because I'm going to contradict myself.
Yeah.
Watching Bryan Danielson wrestle somebody like Jake Hager and make him look like $10 million makes me think, why the hell is Bryan Danielson not your champion?
Yeah.
He's so good.
Yeah.
And you're telling me that if everybody in the Blackpool Combat Club, the four members of the Blackpool Combat Club, Daniel Bryan or Bryan Danielson is the one that doesn't have a title.
Right.
Wheeler Yuta has a title. Bryan Danielson does not. Let's just anyway. Shida, Tony, that thing's a mess. That whole thing is a mess. As far as the rest goes, CM Punk, you're not doing it for me. Like, why in the world would you want Jon Moxley to come out there and split the crowd in Chicago and have Chicago like not believe in CM Punk a little bit? I don't like that. I don't like that at all. It's a bad idea. I'm going to be honest. The Wheeler Yuta, Rouge, Phoenix, Dante Martin match, didn't even watch it because I knew I'd just get mad. In the Elite and the Will Ospreay Aussie Open, I watched a good bit of that, but then again, I said I don't care because I knew it was going to win. So I guess we'll see about the pay-per-view. And that's really all I have. It was kind of, it's the go home. We're doing jobber matches. It's just that kind of thing.
Aaron was complaining about one thing, and I want to pull it up. So this is what Aaron was complaining about with this match here. And I think Aaron's not wrong. Normally I'll say when Aaron's wrong. I don't think he's not wrong. So here is the DDT, and watch her flip around and doesn't even sell it.
Yeah,
not selling it. Even sell it. She just rolls around and tags. When they talk about Thunder Rosa and they come after her sandbagging bullshit, that's just, of course, she's a Latina. They're going to come after her. She's a woman of color. That's how it fucking works a lot of the time. It's ridiculous how Britt Baker gets away with the nonsense that she pulls in the ring because 95% of the guys watching the show find her hot. It's not logical, man. And so you got to call that shit out. That is you're a veteran. You've been a champion for a while, and you're going to pull a move like that to no sell a DDT. Is that jealousy? Is that envy? Is that you just kind of, this is the same Britt Baker that ran to the wrong corner, remember, and trying to do that tag in that match.
She was concussed.
Yeah, fair. But, this is the kind of things that you're seeing patterns, and you're just like, come on. Like, she sold half of Thunder Rosa's moves in that last championship match. It's frustrating when you see this kind of shit, and it's like, this is the person that you anticipate they're going to give the belt back to maybe this weekend. I don't know. So it's just frustrating. But for me, yeah, I mean, to me, the Elite and the Ospreay Aussie Open, that was a great fucking match. A lot of fun to watch. And then afterwards, I think when the cameras went off, they have the video you can watch on YouTube where they came back in and kicked the living shit out of the Elite and Kenny Omega, using that chair on Kenny Omega's ribs, softening them up possibly for what's going to happen in the final. We shall see. And even Ospreay said, this ain't over by a long shot to Kenny. So could mean that although he said goodbye, Chris, he may be coming back a little bit later down the road, and we'll get Ospreay versus Kenny Omega, which would be great. Yeah, I agree with you on the Punk and Moxley stuff. It's clearly being set up that Punk's going to win, because it makes no sense for Moxley to beat him and then beat him again unless you're just burying Punk and putting him away for a while, which Tony Khan has said very clearly he doesn't want to do because Punk translates to money. So it's just a weird kind of situation here. And Moxley essentially being made the sacrificial lamb in the situation. Yeah, you won it, but 2 weeks later you're going to lose it. So it doesn't look good for Mox, and it doesn't look good for Punk that Ace Steel, who I've never heard of, who 99% of the people watching have never heard of, comes out to the ring, and he's the guy that talks Punk into finding his balls to have this match. It's just so ridiculous. And it had shades of who's the guy that trains? Who's got that an AEW? He's got that crew. Who's the old dude that trains them?
QT Marshall.
Yeah. It has shades of that, and it's like that doesn't scare the shit out. Or Dan, what is it? Dan Lambert. What is that?
Dan Lambert.
Yeah.
Dan
It's like Dan Lambert. Like, why is Ace Steel coming out to talk you into a match in Chicago, Punk? It just doesn't make sense. I liked what Punk did once he went in the crowd and said, that was great. But the setting this all up feels real clumsy and messy, and it feels ego-driven, as some of these accusations in the promos Moxley has dropped, and certainly watching some of the promos from the past from Triple H, it feels like we're leaning into that. It feels reminiscent of that, and I think that's not a good thing. You shouldn't have that nonsense around your champion. And now you got to start looking at who else can be carrying the belt here in this situation. And I agree with you. Morrissey, you got to bring Enzo in. It just doesn't work without Enzo. You can line up all the fucking mouthpieces you want. It is not going to work without Enzo. And keep your hands off Tony Schiavone. Don't you ever put your hands on Tony Schiavone ever again. Let me just put that on the table right now. But yeah, so that's my basic thoughts about everything going on there. Yeah, I mean, Hager, yeah, looking like $1 million. You're right, Aaron. I don't think there's anything else I need to say about this situation. It's a shame. And we should move on to talk about the Thunder Rosa stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's do that now. Tony Khan was interviewed about this, and he was talking about this idea of the disparity between Thunder Rosa doing her retirement or doing her I got an injury and I've got to give up the belt conversation in the backstage, whereas Punk got to come out and do it in the ring. And they were both around 8 minutes long, both of these kind of stepping down because of injury situations. And Tony Khan was asked about this disparity. And he said, and this was on the All Out 2022 media call. He said, I give the TV time based on what I believe is going to draw the most ratings. If you want my honest opinion on an 8-minute Thunder Rosa promo versus an 8-minute CM Punk promo, then you're going to get an honest answer. And I think the 8-minute CM Punk promo is probably going to do a better rating. To come out and do a live 8-minute promo, I'm not sure that would have been good for the television show, to be honest with you. So it's funny what he thinks is okay for the television show and what isn't, because apparently a 3-minute match between Punk and Moxley is good for the television show instead of being a wet fart versus an 8-minute pro. So overall, though, some things are beyond what's good for ratings, and it's about what's good for the community, what's a good message to send to the female wrestling community, to the Latino supporting community of wrestling. Like, there's just respect you got to give here, and she's your fucking champion. I don't give a fuck if it's bad ratings. She's your fucking champion. Put her out there and let her do the promo because you did a shit job booking her run. So make it up to her by letting her have an 8-minute promo on your fucking dime and let her do her thing. Gentlemen, what do you think about what Tony had to say in comparison here? Was this damaging to the women's side of things and also to Thunder Rosa's reputation?
I mean, to me, this was an instance which is very Vince McMahon-like, if I'm being honest, where it's like, you didn't put people in a position to succeed, and then you're criticizing them for not succeeding.
Yeah.
I don't understand that. It's like, first of all, it's an unfair thing to say anyway. CM Punk versus anyone in wrestling doing a promo is going to get better ratings than who else cutting a promo is going to be the one that gets the most ratings. It's going to be CM Punk, right? So that's a ridiculous comparison in the first place.
Yeah.
Secondly, like I said, this is a women's champion who you have not in any way. I mean, ironically enough, we're talking about CM Punk. This is what he complained about in WWE. When he was the world champion, he was never featured. He didn't main event shows. He was not treated like a top guy. Do we think Thunder Rosa has been treated like a top guy in any sense, in any stretch of the imagination?
No.
So how can you tell me, like, I mean, I got to make a decision on what's best for the show. Excuse me, this is pro wrestling. You can do anything on a show, literally anything. Exactly. So you could have had a very strong women's world champion who would connect with the audience. And I mean, she's like a godsend in a lot of ways. Yeah. How long has WWE been trying to chase this Latino audience? Forever and a day.
Forever.
And they've made no bones about it, that they've specifically tried to target that audience. Yep. You have someone in Thunder Rosa who not only is a great wrestler, but with the face paint and the presentation, that's great marketing stuff, that's great merchandise stuff.
Yep.
And you've dropped the ball completely. There's really no other way to put it. And then you're allowing these rumors and conjecture to get out there without squashing it. Yeah. You know, you haven't come out and said, no, as the owner of the company, all this that she's sandbagging or pretending to be injured, boy, it's all malarkey. Stop talking to my champion that way. No, she's got to go on Busted Open Radio and defend herself. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's like, dog, like, so you're not going to feature her. You're not going to support her when, you know, people are talking down on her. You haven't made her reign feel important. You can't then go back and be like, well, I'm just doing what's best for the show and she's not it. That's crazy.
Right. Yeah. Aaron?
Felt very Eric Bischoff to me. As much as Eric Bischoff criticizes Tony Khan, I feel like they're very similar. But anywho, I'm going to make a comparison, and you guys are going to be like, that makes no sense. Thunder Rosa is Woody from Toy Story, and Jade Cargill is Buzz Lightyear. And Tony is Andy. Because, you know, hey, I like Thunder Rosa. She's great. She'll be our women's world champion. She's Woody. And then all of a sudden you get like the more improved model, and Jade Cargill is super ripped and looks great in photos, looks amazing in person. You're like, good Lord, where has this been all my life? And there's been more emphasis on the TBS Women's Championship than there has been on the World Championship. And Jade Cargill, for better or worse, is barely on the show lately. Yeah. She had the match with Madison Rayne. Her and Athena, I didn't even know they had a thing because it's on Rampage. And I hate to tell you this, guys, ain't nobody watching that show. You cannot build a rivalry on Rampage. You have to build it on Dynamite. You can do subsequent things on Rampage. You cannot build it straight from Rampage because nobody is watching it, dude. Yeah. Like, the ratings are trash. Anywho, I'm a Thunder Rosa person. I think she's great. I think she's awesome. I think you could do so many things with her. When Tony said that about CM Punk, like, I think a CM Punk 8-minute seg would do better than Thunder. No kidding. Yeah, the Rock 8-minute Rock promo would do better than a fucking 30-minute Ricochet promo. Yeah. We know this. Yeah, we know this. Nobody's saying Thunder Rosa should have got 8 minutes out there and with CM, like a CM Punk sit down. Nobody's saying that. Yeah. What they're saying is you probably could have at least put her on the stage so people could have seen her. Like, that's insane to say that. And like, it draws more ratings. Yeah, we know. But we also know that the women's division in AEW is not to be trusted. And how can you say this crap about ratings when, like, 3 years ago, a women's world championship match main evented the biggest wrestling show of the year?
True.
WrestleMania. Like, how can you even say, like, is women's wrestling a bigger draw than men's? No, I wouldn't say that it is. But then again, that's not diminishing them. That's not their fault. as men's wrestling has been around much longer, and there's more emphasis on that division. So, Tony Khan, like, I understand what you're saying, my man, but, like, you have to put in the effort, and then you can give him the report card. You can't just automatically give it an F without the effort.
Yeah.
Like, if Thunder Rosa was out having a match every week and the ratings were trash with her as champion, you have a point, fine. But if you're not going to feature her and you're only going to have her looking back at the monitor and going, yay, Tony Storm does good, that it feels like, and I don't know if this is what it is, but it's like you have your Latino women's world champion, and it's like, yeah, but we'd really like the title belt to be on the pretty white lady.
Yeah.
That's just what it feels like.
Of course. Yeah. Yeah. And that's where eventually he's going to end up, whether it's Tony Storm or it's Britt Baker, because those are the two choices, in my opinion. That's where he's going to go. That's going to be the impetus for him, and he thinks it's going to lead to a better thing. And they're probably going to book her better, and it's going to be a better thing. And the thing is, Thunder Rosa's failings during her run are the fault of your creative team and the fault of you. They're not hers. She is fucking renowned everywhere she goes. So if you blew it, what's the common denominator? You're the only one to blow it. It's your thing. You know, you take ownership of it. So, all right, we got to rush through. We got to get through these predictions here, Aaron. So let's move on to that. We've got some Streamlabs SuperChats too. So let me hit those real quick, and then we'll swing over to that. AZ Badfish says, please forgive my insolence in coming in late. I will make sure to run my appointments by you next time. You're goddamn right. He said, I really needed that haircut, though. Oh, forgot it was a haircut? You son of a bitch. My buddy and I were talking, and for both of us, this is the least hyped for a new AEW pay-per-view we've seen in quite some time. We hope it's good. We'll see. I think you're right. Definitely going to talk about it. Let's see. Blair 4311, I think it's B. Brian Blair, says the Dark Attack rules. Also, glad you're feeling better, John. Yeah, thanks. Hill Nellums is here. What's up, Hill? He says, hey, everyone, is it possible that Punk turns heel at All Out? Is it possible to pull off in Chicago? What a weekend of wrestling coming. Amazing time to be a wrestling fan. Yeah, gentlemen, does he pull? I mean, if you're going to pulling it in Chicago, they'll cheer the shit out of you if you turn heel for sure. So is that something that you, and Moxley kind of teased the crowd by fucking with them about their fandom for CM Punk. So it wouldn't be surprising if he turns heel. What do you guys think? Is that possible?
Aaron, you go first.
Preview of coming preview. I don't care. There you go.
All right, fair enough. Chris, thoughts?
I'm going to put on my creative team Booker hat real quick.
Oh, no.
How is it? I don't consider myself a genius. I consider myself someone who looks at the pieces and can figure out how they need to fit together to make the most intriguing picture. That's all. How is it that we have not had an angle where CM Punk, okay, if you want to turn him heel, that's how you do it. CM Punk. What do we know about CM Punk? He's straight edge.
Hates Colt Cabana.
Hates Colt Cabana, and he's straight edge.
Yeah.
Where did John Moxley go for those many months that he was not around? I rest my case.
Oh, my.
CM Punk has shown us several times that he can play that character. The straight edge savior, anybody?
Oh, man.
The straight edge society, anyone? Oof. Summer of Punk, anyone? The guy. Listen.
Do you want to do that with Moxley, though? I don't know if I'd want to risk my life with Moxley. Where are you? Where the fuck are you?
Come on. Come on. The straight edge superstar defeats Moxley and then starts to just completely decimate him about his issues with alcohol and substance and this blah, 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 blah. I know it's ugly. I know that. But we talked about being able to use what happens in real life to further an angle, et cetera, et cetera. And I'm all for it in pro wrestling when it's done professionally. When they fucking poured real alcohol down Scott Hall's mouth during the Austin NWO stuff, that's just insane. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
But, and Justin Toner said it, at one point, Punk poured fake alcohol down Jeff Hardy's throat in WWE. and it was great. And that's what I'm saying. We're talking about a guy who wants to be bludgeoned in the head with light fixtures and barbed wire and shit like that. I think he can be fine with Punk poking at him about his issues. I think that would be super intriguing. You want to talk about getting some passionate responses from Moxley? You get Renee involved. You know what I'm saying? Come on, dude. That's a story. That's a story, and that's one that even a Chicago crowd would boo CM Punk on. Like, dude, bad form. Not cool. Not cool at all. And that's how you do it.
Leave Renee out of this. I can see that. That's a great point. Empire Fan 1980 says Jungle Boy will win against Christian because the cast of 90210 and Riverdale will help him win for talking bad about Luke Perry. LOL. Oh my God. What?
The battle at the Peach Pit. I like it.
Gramash says, is anyone excited?
It all out him.
That's my homie.
Is anyone excited to see Sting and Malachi in the ring?
Just you. Just you.
We're going to talk about it in the preview. And then one last one here. Christian Ramos says, hey, guys, Tony Khan said something on the lines of after All Out, AEW will be back to form. Does that mean returns? Maybe some female wrestlers that are debuting? If there were any women talent that are available to debut, I think the Dynamite after All Out would be the great launch pad for it. What do you guys think? Do you think that's what we're getting?
Who they going to debut?
That's what I'm saying.
Everybody's tied up, man.
Yeah, like what? I'm having trouble really thinking of like who in AEW is like injured and missing.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly, but we'll talk about that.
Right, let's move on. Yeah.
I mean, from what I'm hearing, there was people trying to leave AEW. They said no, you can't leave. Keith Lee. So you know how that goes. But yeah, we'll talk about.
Swerve says he's fine in AEW and he's happy for Hit Row coming back. We shall see how true that is in a year from now. All right, let's get into some predictions here. We're running out of time. Let's go. All Out. Let's do it. What do we got?
All Out. There's 14 matches. Oh my God.
Oh Jesus Christ.
Chris is going to be busy. The pre-show: Eddie Kingston versus Tomohiro Ishii. A match with no build. They're just kind of throwing it together. I'll take Kingston.
Sure, Kingston. Fine, whatever.
Yeah, no one's going to see this match, so yes.
Yeah. Next match with 1 week of build is Pac versus Kip Sabian for the All Atlantic Championship. I'll take Pac.
Sure, Pac again. Yeah, he's been wrestling great recently, and the Sabian stuff I think has actually worked, even though for some reason it was 8 months of buildup. I think it actually worked now. What do you got, Chris?
I disagree entirely. When that bag came off, I was like, who the fuck is that? Oh shit, is that Kip? Oh yeah, that's Kip Sabian. Okay, all right, cool, I guess. You know what I mean?
The only thing good about Kip Sabian is with Penelope Ford. Anyway, next match.
Wait, who do you pick? Who do you pick, Chris? Do you think?
I think Pac. It should have been Enzo under the bag.
That'd been great. I would like that a lot.
You soft. All right.
Our next match is Hook versus Cool Hand Angelo Parker for the FTW title. Another match that was just thrown together. So
why is this on the pre-show? You did all this build-up for Hook, and he's on your fucking pre-show?
I think
Hook wins. Yeah. Chris?
Hook wins. Yeah. Next. Hook wins, LOL.
Yeah, there you go. All right, so our next match. Now we're onto the main card, finally. The Trios Tournament Final, which I think is Dynamite or shit. Rampage is live tonight, right?
Oh, I think so. Yeah.
So we don't know who's going to win between the... Anyway, the Elite versus the Dark Order and Hangman Page is probably what it's going to be.
Oh, of course it's going to be
for
Hangman
the Trios
Page.
Tournament. So I'm going to take the Elite.
I'm going to take Hangman Page because of how Ospreay in the Aussie Open kicked the shit out of them. And it would be nice to get a victory for Hangman Page. And you build a little bit of the animosity between Omega and Ospreay even more. So I say Hangman Page. I know I'm probably wait on an island by myself, but I think that. What do you think there, Chris?
Kenny just came back. They're gonna win those titles. Do you understand me? The Bucks. You think the Bucks are gonna book themselves to lose the first ever trios title match
to the Dark Order?
No, my friend. No.
Fine. All right, fine. You guys are right. I'll change my prediction.
It was built for them. So
yeah, true.
Next match is Bryan Danielson versus Chris Jericho. I'll take Bryan Danielson, and he better win.
Bryan Danielson versus Chris Jericho. Yeah, I guess I'll go. No, you know what? I'm going to go Jericho because I think Garcia is going to get involved to make up for messing up on Dynamite. So I'm going to go Jericho. What do you got, Chris?
This is a tough one because it's intriguing. It seems to telegraph that Garcia is going to join the Blackpool Combat Club. It seems like way too obvious, right? So Jericho could win, man. But, calling Jericho matches is always tough because it's like he doesn't need to win any match ever again. You know what I'm saying? Like, he really doesn't. So it's like, I don't know. The most logical story is Bryan Danielson winning, I guess. So, I'll go with Danielson.
All right. Okay. Next match is Ricky Starks versus Powerhouse Hobbs. I'm going Hobbs. Keep Ricky chasing. Keep him chasing.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. I think Powerhouse Hobbs as well. We're still building up Ricky, so let him keep trying to climb that mountain for a little while before he finally conquers it. So, yeah, Powerhouse Hobbs.
If it's me, I do an ECW booking and he drops Starks on his neck and injures him.
Oh, damn. Okay. So you're going Powerhouse Hobbs.
Drop Sabu on his neck, and then it was like, even though Sabu was seeming like he was going to win that match, that's how you do it. You put Ricky out, then when he comes back, he's even more over.
Ooh. Oh, yeah, man. You good? Sounds good. All right, so clean sweep for Powerhouse.
I'm going Hobbs.
All right, clean sweep for Powerhouse Hobbs on that one. Jade Cargill versus Athena TBS Championship. We'll just stick with Jade, I guess.
Yeah, I think Jade, because there's been no – I mean, if you're putting them on Rampage, nothing tells you that they don't believe the feud is going anywhere or that it's not tracking well than putting it on Rampage. So for me, I think sadly Athena is just going to be taking the loss here and helping Cargill get over even more.
I'm going to be getting a hot dog during this match. So I'm going to say Jade. The only storyline left for Jade to me is she confronts whoever the women's world champion is and says, no one can challenge for this belt. I've beaten them all, so I want your belt. That's the only story left there.
Makes sense to me.
Okay.
Clean sweep for Jade Cargill. All right, next match, another trios match. There's a few on this show. The House of Black versus the team of Sting, Darby Allin, and Miro the Redeemer. There he is, Miro. He's back.
I got to go Sting, Darby Allin, and Miro. That to me feels correct. What about you guys?
Purely for the Miro of it all. That's it. I mean, okay. He. When's the last time Miro wrestled?
Yeah, exactly.
Forbidden Door, right? Yeah.
Lord have mercy. So. This is what I'm saying. I'm sorry. I got a mini rant here. Just
go ahead.
This is what I'm talking about. I loved AEW so much for so long, and I've been giving them the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
How do you not have a whiteboard that says, holy shit, I haven't booked Darby Allin in a singles match in months? You know what I'm saying? How do you not just have a roster list and say, these people need to be featured on the reg. These people need to be showing up, or you utilize Rampage. Yeah. Instead of having these squash matches of people that we don't give a shit about, who should only be on Dark Elevation or whatever, pick a show. Okay, Darby show is Rampage. Darby is going to be our main focus on Rampage. Ricky Starks or whoever is going to be Kenny's going to be the main focus on Dynamite.
Sure.
And then you build the show from there. Come on, man. Like, everyone in this match I haven't seen on TV in weeks. You know what I'm saying? Everyone in the match. And listen to those names again. Aleister Black, Sting, Darby Allin. I haven't seen them on TV. Come on, dog. I know. I'm not a booker. I'm not a wrestling booker. I'm a fan. I can say all the shit I want to in my ivory tower of coulda, woulda, shouldas. But it doesn't feel that hard. Yeah, that's what she said.
Nope.
Nope.
All
right. I'm going with Sting's team because Sting's got to get to that world title, baby.
He's got to get to that title. Come on now.
Welcome to the team, Aaron.
All right, where are we off to?
All right, so our next match is a tag team match for the AEW Tag Team Championships. It is Swerve in Our Glory versus The Acclaimed. I'm going Swerve in Our Glory.
Yeah, Swerve and Keith Lee. Yeah, definitely. I go with those guys.
Yeah, definitely Swerve and Keith Keith Lee. This match shouldn't be happening.
And why not?
It should be FTR versus the Young Bucks.
You're right.
Period.
That's fair. All right, our next match is a casino ladder match. It is Wheeler Yuta versus Claudio Castagnoli versus Rush versus Rey Fenix versus Penta versus Dante Martin. Andrade El Idolo was advertised, but I don't think he's in this match now. Yeah. And a mystery Joker, which has been rumored to be everybody from Adam Cole to MJF. Who do you think wins this? I'm going with Claudio Castagnoli. I think he may win this one.
I say Rush because
okay,
he's the most recent guy. You really want to get him even more over, and people are loving him. With the limited TV time that he's gotten, people are loving him. So I think you put him in a position to win here. But if it's MJF, MJF wins. That's my thoughts. What do you got there?
It would be so stupid if it was MJF.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go with whoever the Joker is going to win.
Wow.
I'm going with a question mark.
People are saying Adam Cole, baby, and I'm like, yeah, torn labor and then come back and do a ladder match. That's real fair. Yeah. So our next match is...
What if it's what's-his-face that just got introduced?
W. Morrissey?
Cass, yeah, Morrissey. What if it's Morrissey?
Oh, God, I don't want to see him in a ladder match. I'm good.
I
saw that at WrestleMania. I'm good.
Oh, that's right. Oh, God, yeah.
Our next match is our grudge match, Christian Cage versus Jungle Boy.
It's got to be Jungle Boy. I mean, it's got to be Jungle Boy, for God. You can't insult the man's dad and win? Come on. Jungle Boy.
Jack Perry for the win.
Christian Cage.
What? Ooh, really?
Teach the boy something. Oh, Christian Cage wins
with help from his mom. That would be
great. That would be really great.
That's
the next match, another trios match, guys. Wardlow and FTR versus Jay Lethal and the Motor City Machine Guns. I'm going former Pinnacle team.
Come on, it's Wardlow and FTR. They're gonna fucking kill them. So Wardlow.
Yeah. The only way I would have been more intrigued in this match in the least is if Doc Brown had showed up in the DeLorean to bring the Motor City Machine Guns from the early 2000s when people gave a shit about this team.
Oh, no.
I fucked with them and I got respect for them. But Jesus Christ, they haven't even been on TV. I don't know. I'm having an attitude about AEW this episode. I really am.
Motor City. You sound like me. All right, our next match is the AEW My dog is nuts. The AEW Women's Interim Championship. It is Britt Baker versus Toni Storm versus Hikaru Shida versus Jamie Hayter. God.
One of the things I love to do is risk take, and this is one of those matches where, like, I could see Jamie Hayter as Tony Khan as a little bit of a fuck you to everybody. Puts their predictions, puts it on Jamie Hayter. She's been building, she's been rising, but I think it goes Toni Storm. I think it goes Toni Storm.
If I'm booking, I think you're exactly right. I would do Jamie Hayter for sure. I'd make it left, start fresh. No, she's someone who is relatively unscathed from the mire that has been the women's division. So put it on her and maybe, take a breath and say, okay, we're turning over a new leaf here. Tony will get it at some point, And now as I snap back to reality, Tony will get it this weekend. Sweet Cheeks music for the win.
Yeah.
Sometimes the easiest answer is the best. Really? Sometimes the easiest answer is the best answer, and it's Toni Storm. That's who you got to put it on. That's who you wanted it on all along.
Yeah.
So just put it on her. I think it is intriguing if you put it on Jamie Hayter, because now it's like she's Britt Baker's like minion. It's like, look what I have and look what you don't have.
That break needs to happen already. It does. It really does. Jamie needs to stand out on her own. She don't need to be under fucking Britt Baker.
Yeah, I agree. And I think you're looking at a massive boo party if Britt Baker not only wins.
Oh my God.
Because she won the Owen Hart Cup too. So it's like, what the fuck is going on? Like,
if she pulls the Nash Hogan thing, where it's her and Hayter in the ring, and she tells Hayter to lay down for her to win. Oh, just what your dog did is how I'd feel. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, just slamming his rope into my desk.
Pay attention to me, motherfucker.
Yeah, really. God, it's really meaty today. In our main event for the AEW World Title, it is CM Punk versus Jon Moxley 2.
I don't know. Punk, I guess. It seems Punk. What do you
I like my earlier booking. Punk wins and goes heel. I enjoy my decision making, so I'm going with that.
I think you stick with a hot hand. I think you stick with Moxley.
Really? Wow.
Yeah,
I said you and Punk lose Moxley twice in 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Wow.
Because if not, you're going to do a third match. And then what's that going to be? You're going to have another 3 months to build that? Like, come on. What are you going to do? Put him in a cage? Put him in Hell in a Cell? I'm going Mox. I'm going Moxley.
All right. Fair enough. Fair enough. I like this. I like a little division. It's good.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to Clash of the Castles. We've got like 15 minutes left in the show. Let's do it. Clash of the Castle.
Clash of the Castle. Much smaller pay-per-view or premium live event. First matchup here is Edge and Rey Mysterio versus the Judgment Day team of Finn Balor and Damian Priest. Who you got?
I think Edge wins. Edge and Rey win because thank God they got rid of Dominic in the situation. However, if Dominic shows up because he couldn't attack Rhea and he has fully been submitted, as Chris likes to use that term with the situation, then I think Dominic causes them to lose the match, Edge and Rey, and joins finally Judgment Day. So that's what I think. But if that doesn't happen, then Edge and Rey win. That's my predictions.
See, it's all set up right there. You let Dominic turn evil. They give him a dark evil mask. He becomes like Dark Mysterio. And then Rey brings in the Lucha Brothers, and now they got to fucking fight the Dark Mysterio. There's so much good stuff that can happen there. It's not going to. But, I mean, I'm still wishing in my heart of hearts that Edge, this was like all like a test of his like abilities or whatever, and he's really still in charge of Judgment Day.
Oh,
that's still the ultimate booking I wish was happening. Like, it was on some apocalypse shit of like only the strong can survive. So even I needed to be tested. They're not going to do that. Yeah, Judgment Day kind of has to win, right? Because they're dead in the water. If they don't, they are dead in the water.
Yeah, fair point. Okay.
I'm going Judgment Day. Dom gets involved. Yeah, and maybe Dark Mysterio could go up against Evil Uno. That seems very interesting.
Evil Uno looks like he's 8 Dark Mysterio.
or does it end in a no contest? And because we're eventually going to get Beth Phoenix, Edge, and Rey Mysterio versus Rhea.
Yeah, Beth was like 2 weeks ago. Beth came.
That's right. Going to happen. So could very well end a no contest. All right, next match. Forgot what's even happening. It is the SmackDown Women's Championship.
Oof.
It is Liv Morgan versus Shayna Baszler. Who you got here?
Liv's going to win, which sucks, and it's going to do nothing to shut up the haters about her. She could train with Matt Riddle for 1 day, all she fucking wants. But you don't master MMA in 1 day or how to get out of locks in 1 fucking day. So to me, logically, Shayna should win, but there's no way they're taking the belt off Shayna off Liv to give it to Shayna. So that's what I think is going to happen. Chris.
Booked themselves into a corner, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, really did, because Liv probably shouldn't lose the belt so early in her reign, but Shayna, you're rehabbing her, so she can't really lose either. And if you do some kind of finish that's shenanigansy, neither of them looks strong.
Yeah.
If you do a thing where like Shayna puts her in a submission hold and won't let go, so she gets disqualified, then it just makes Liv look even weaker. It's tough. It's like, and where does Ronda, what role does she play in all this? You know what I mean? Is she going to cost Shayna the title? Is she going to, who knows? Like, I don't know what the hell is going to happen really, but I think at the end of the day, Liv's going to win ultimately. Because she kind of has to.
Liv, and it's going to suck.
Yeah.
That's all I can really say. Next match is grudge match here. Riddle, or as I'm hearing from a little birdie, Matt Riddle again versus Seth Rollins. Who you got?
I got to say Matt Riddle. once you invoke the wife and the kids leaving you, that's game over, man. I mean, you got to lose in this way. And look, Rollins has become Teflon. Wins or losses are irrelevant to Seth Rollins because he's so fucking over. Kind of like walking the same path as Triple H. It's irrelevant, wins or losses. People still know that he's a formidable foe. So him losing to Riddle doesn't hurt him in any way, shape, or form. Riddle is trying to get where Rollins is at. So it only makes sense for Rollins to help him get there. So I think Riddle wins here in this one.
Yeah, I would like Riddle to win just to end the feud. Like, they've been feuding a long time. And I don't think it ends if Rollins wins. And Rollins has been a trooper. He has lost, I feel like, his last several feuds, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
But, you know, like you said, it never affects him. Never affects him. So, yeah, put Riddle over.
I think they told him, you're going to take the belt off Reigns. That's our plan. Just help us get all these other people over on the way, and then boom, you're going to get your shot at him. I think that's what's going to happen.
Interesting.
What do you got there, Aaron?
I'm going to take Chris's finish from the previous match. I'm going to apply it here because I think this is how it's going to go down. Rollins is the master manipulator, right? He's the Joker. He's getting inside your fucking head. He went in there and he told Matt Riddle personal stuff. Riddle's furious. This isn't a no-holds-barred match. This is a sanctioned match, which means Riddle is going to get DQ'd. I know it's not the finish that people want.
Interesting.
But I think Rollins is going to pop in the old blood capsule in the mouth, and Riddle's going to pummel him. And the referee's going to try to stop it, and he's not going to be able to stop it. Riddle's going to get DQ'd, and you're going to see that visual of Riddle outside of the ring or being held back by referees, and Rollins is sitting in the corner with the blood coming out of his mouth. And he's just mocking Riddle, and then Riddle jumps back, like tries to jump back in, but he can't. I think that would be a good finish. That way it helps out both guys. Rollins doesn't lose, and Riddle still looks tough.
Good point. I liked him with the skateboard just beating the shit out of him over and over again.
There you go.
All right.
So our next match is a trios match. It is Bianca Belair, Alexa Bliss, and Asuka versus Bayley, Dakota Kai, and Io Sky.
Okay, I'm going with the Asuka crew because, as I said, I think they're going to lose. Bayley's going to get mad at them, kick them out, and Sasha and Naomi are going to be there waiting to kick the shit out of them. Maybe even coming down the ramp and kicking the shit out of them as they're walking by. And it'd be great if Bayley just kind of walks by as Sasha and Naomi run down and kick the shit out of them, and then stands and turns at the top of the ramp, and they go and join her at the top of the ramp. That's what I think is going to happen. All right.
I'm going with the Bayley buddies for the win. And also because I just want you to have that singular moment of triumph if your fantasy booking comes true. I don't want to participate. You got it. All yours.
Aaron?
Bayley and her team win with Bayley pinning Bianca in a shocker.
Ooh, interesting. Okay. I like that. Zeno says, Rocha, that's Vince style booking. Now, oh, fucking shit.
We're past that.
God, how dare you? That is not Vince booking at all. Go ahead. Yes. All right. What's next?
All right. So next we are going with the Intercontinental Championship with a very interesting match. Gunther, the Intercontinental Champion, versus multi-time world champion, United States champion. I don't think he's ever been Intercontinental Champion. Sheamus. What do you think?
Oh, Gunther all day long.
Okay.
Sheamus is a nice foe, but it's Gunther all day long.
Walter, because of what you said, Aaron, a few weeks ago, we got to get Lashley Walter at Survivor Series.
Oh, my God.
Gotta have it.
Oh, my God.
Gotta have it.
I hope the mics are really close to the ring to hear the slapping going on. I want Sheamus and his white, pale, pasty skin to be so red. It's going to be awesome. I think it's going to be a banger. Like, I'm going to pin it as, like we talked earlier, that super chat came in.
Really?
I might pin this as my banger of the weekend.
Wow.
Banger after banger after banger.
Yeah.
I want Sheamus to show people why they count him out, like why they should never count him out again. And I'm ready. I want to see it. I'm here for it. Let's see it. Let's see Sheamus and Gunther and the Intercontinental Championship to mean something. and I'm here. I'm here for that.
Do you anticipate a name change now that Triple H is in charge?
For who?
Back to Walter. Do you think
no?
they're pulling back to Walter? Okay.
No, because he doesn't care.
He doesn't give a damn. Yeah.
Sure.
I would like to see his music go back to where.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Fair
yeah,
enough.
let's do that. Let's
if
change.
He does go back to
Sheamus
Walter, put the fucking weight back on. That's my personal opinion.
Here we go.
That I don't agree with.
I don't agree with that at all. And our main event, it is the WWE Universal Undisputed Universe title of the world. It is Roman Reigns, your champion, your tribal chief, your head of the table, versus Drew McIntyre. Who you got here?
This is my match of the weekend.
Okay.
I think this is going to shock a lot of people. I think Drew has been waiting to get another shot to really show what he can do, because he was kind of unceremoniously dumped out of the picture by Bobby at the time when he was starting to descend in terms of popularity. So now that he's worked his way to this moment, he's not going to win, but he's going to deliver one hell of a fucking match. And Reigns is going to win like he beat Brock by the skin of his fucking teeth. And so I think that's what's going to happen here. And I wonder if Zayn is going to be involved in any way with the bloodline and mess things up or whatever. And then KO comes out. Maybe we can set that up. But I think it's going to be real interesting. But I think McIntyre is going to deliver the greatest match of his life here against Reigns.
I'm going with McIntyre.
Wow, you think McIntyre?
Here's why. I thought about it. McIntyre, they still owe him.
Yeah.
His big first world title win was crickets.
During COVID.
Silence. You know what I mean? To a bunch of TV screens.
Yeah.
Not the way you want to start a title reign, man. And he dealt with it, and he ran with it, and he put in all the effort in the world to be a strong, credible world champion during that time period. And come on, man. They haven't been to the UK in how long for a pay-per-view, for a premium live event?
In a long time.
It's been a while. And I think you got to pay tribute to that British Bulldog legacy of beating Bret Hart in the main event.
No, that was a great match.
You know, and you got to do it. I think you just got to do it. Do you guys want to hear Jay Washington's fantasy?
Sure. What is Jay Washington?
Yeah, let's hear it.
He thinks that Drew's going to win.
Ooh.
And that Paul Heyman is going to come out and say, congratulations. No one ever said this was for both belts. So enjoy your WWE title. Roman is still SmackDown, the Universal.
Wait a minute. I need to debunk this. Hold on. Let me go to.
That's interesting.
Keep talking.
It says, Christian Ramos says, Castle Sword UK. It's all set up for McIntyre. That's the thing. WWE always books people to lose in their hometown. So I'm extending that out even to their home country even. So I would not be surprised if he doesn't get it done, but he acquits himself incredibly well. Go ahead.
With much respect to Jay Washington, it is advertised as the undisputed WWE Universal Championship match.
Oh, wouldn't be the first time WWE broke up
Swerve
to us.
Raw executive Vince Russo says Swerve. I'm also going Drew McIntyre.
Wow!
And I think for the reasons before, said before, that it's all set up for Drew McIntyre to win. The only icing on the cake is that he comes out to Broken Dreams, that amazing song that Drew McIntyre had in the beginning. I will talk about that here in a second, Jeremy. But I think he's going to win. I think it's set up for him to win. The COVID stuff, you guys nailed it. I'm taking Drew McIntyre. Jeremy Miller does bring up that Tyson Fury said he was going to be in the audience. So I think that maybe that's, if we're going to get a Braun Strowman, that's where we get it. Because him and Tyson Fury fought at whatever that Saudi show is, Crown Jewel, and Tyson Fury got the best of them. So I think I would like to see that.
Will Killer Cross and Scarlett have a role to play here?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think they should. If anything... maybe we get another, what'd you call it? Clock, ticking clock at the end.
Okay.
Or my dream scenario, match is over, McIntyre celebrates, cut to the ramp, rocking chair.
Okay. Oh, interesting.
Well, let's go back to that previous super chat before we get out of here. That says pick your banger match of the weekend.
I just did.
So okay,
I think it's going to be McIntyre Reigns.
Okay,
he's got to keep one-upping it. And someone, I think Justin mentioned, it's the 2-year anniversary of Reigns winning the belt. Yeah, on Saturday tomorrow. So he's got to deliver. And I think, it's tough to top the tractor trailer and piling everything on top of Brock Lesnar, but a sword. That is
cut you in half, buddy.
I want to see concrete blocks out of a castle being thrown at each other. Like, I'm just saying, there's possibilities here. So I think this is going to be absolutely tear down the house type main event. So that's my prediction. If it's not that, it's going to be Carmelo and Ricochet.
I think that's going to be the actual banger. The one I'm most looking forward to is Sheamus and Gunther.
Really? Oh, okay.
I'm absolutely looking forward to that.
Okay. What do you got, Chris? Looking forward to it and banger match. What do you got?
Everybody knows that the banger of the weekend is going to be Liv Morgan versus Shayna. I'm just kidding. Obviously, come on. Carmelo and Ricochet are going to tear it the F up. Sure. I agree with Aaron. I think the sleeper is definitely Sheamus and Gunther, but do not fall asleep on Ricky Stark's Powerhouse Hobbs.
Okay. Oh, yeah, good point. Great, nice little dark horse there for the weekend. Absolutely. Nice choice there, Chris. All right, well, let's wrap it up there. There are no more Streamlabs and SuperChat, so let's sign off here. Thank you all so much for joining us for this live special episode on Friday. We had over 100 of you watching us at one point, so thank you so much. Please hit that like button now as we're wrapping up. It's that little thumbs up button there. Move your cursor over. Hit that thumbs up button. If you're watching later, hit the thumbs up button and leave a comment down below. Who do you think is going to win these matches this weekend? What do you think of our predictions? All of it down there in the comments section below. Another fun show, gentlemen. Aaron, tell them where they can find you, brother.
In the next 5 minutes, you can find me in the bathroom because I really got to pee. But you can find me this weekend watching wrestling, probably drunk. So, yeah, let's have a good time.
Right.
You pee for 5 minutes straight? That's crazy. That's an insane amount of time to pee.
Austin Powers style.
It's Tom Hanks, League of Their Own. Chris Burns, where can they find you, man?
At Chris_please. We're kind of cutting it short, so I'll announce the winner of the Triple H WrestleMania figure next episode.
Yeah, sounds good. We'll
5-star reviews, guys, on our podcast.
Yeah, keep saying, if you are a person who wants to listen to our show, please subscribe to our podcast. It is on its own feed now, so we can get more ads. We can get more promotion for the show. So go and subscribe wherever you download podcasts. It is available. We are on iHeartRadio. All the Outlaw Nation stuff is on iHeartRadio now. So please go and subscribe there or Apple, wherever you download podcasts. Go and subscribe to the Strong Style Podcast. We will be doing supplemental shows down the road. We're talking about it. So that's one of the reasons why you need to subscribe. Leave the reviews, leave the ratings. They're so important for us there. All right, y'all. As for me, you can follow me at The Rocha Says on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, The Outlaw Nation on Twitch. And I will be doing a watch along of Clash. The ladies out of town for the next 3 days, so I get to watch some wrestling in my underwear. So come and hang out with me as I do it tomorrow night for Clash at the Castle, and then for the NXT matches as well, Worlds Collide. I am not buying the pay-per-view for All Out, so I will not be watching that one. But the other two that are on Peacock, I will be watching. So come and join me on Twitch for those watch-alongs. All right, y'all take care of yourselves. Be well. And we'll talk to you next time with another brand new live episode of Strong Style. Enjoy the weekend of wrestling.